Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get bumpy. Time to attack and dominate. This is Morning Juice with Brandon Beam and Bobby Carpenter.
And here we go on a Wednesday, attacking and dominating our way to 9 a.m. every single weekday morning right here on The Fan. Brandon Beam, the General Bobby Carpenter, and of course our fearless leader and producer, Mark the Shark Bob. We've made it here to a wild and wonderful Wednesday. Coaster Bob Day for some, First Friday miracle for others. What's going on, man? Good to talk to you.
Oh, it's great to talk to you, Beam. I'm excited about life, excited about Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're a couple days away from some college football here.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State is
10
days away.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds pretty darn good to me. How was your Tuesday?
It was good, man. It was good. Yeah, the weather's unbelievable yesterday and today, right? I mean, it feels awesome. Shark woke up this morning, walked out at like 1:30 in the morning, said, I need to put some pants on. I mean, it was chilly, got a little nip in the air. Feels like football outside. Tuesday was good, man. My mom and my aunt came up from Dayton, so that was good. They took Willie to the zoo, which was great. They left yesterday at like, I don't know, 10:45, 11-ish. They went over to the zoo, and they didn't get back until like 5 o'clock last night. I mean, so they spent the full day.
That's the full Monty, Beam.
Over there at the zoo. So I got a lot of stuff done at the house yesterday. I went to the grocery store, did some laundry, did some yard work, Bob. Like, just got some stuff done in the middle of the day that I usually really can't get done. Took a nice little nap in there. Yeah, it was pretty solid. And then Mare got home from work, I don't know, 3:30, 3:45-ish, and took Theo for a walk. And we were both looking at each other because our house was so quiet. we were looking at each other like, man, what did we ever do? We had so much time before Willie. Yeah. Just a bevy of time. Like, what the hell did we do to fill our time?
Plan dinner.
Yeah, plan dinner and just hang out. That's all we were doing. So yesterday was good, and then my mom, my aunt came back. Willie napped for like 20 minutes the whole day yesterday. But I give him credit. He was in a pretty good mood.
No more nappy time?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I hope not. I hope that we're still...
My oldest son would be like, no more nappy time. Like,
yes, nappy time. Yes, more nappy time. Yeah, yes, more nappy time.
Make up little songs, try to get him excited about it.
Yeah,
he was
nap time.
He didn't like the nappy time.
So it was good. And then they stayed for dinner last night, Bob, and they left probably, I don't know, 7:15, 7:20-ish. Yeah. We got Willie to bed, and he did not make a sound last night. He was out like a rock. So... pretty solid little Tuesday, man. Excited about a Wednesday. What about you? Tuesday good?
Yeah, it was a good Tuesday. Did a little exam with my guy, Hester. I went to the combined charitable campaign for Columbus City. I was their honorary chair this year. We had their event was yesterday, so I went and spoke at that for a little bit. Got to see some of the great charities and everything. People aren't necessarily giving as much, the younger folks being, they said, consistently. They're like, not to say they're less generous, he's like, but it's more of a event-based donations as opposed to consistent giving, and that's a product of people maybe being more transit with their jobs, all these different things. They raised over $2 million last year, hoping to do that again this year. So pretty excited about that. But I was down at the Rhodes Building, which is the tallest building in Columbus. I didn't realize that.
Okay.
I got to go up to the 40th floor, walk around a little bit. That's the highest point in Columbus, if you will. And I mean, you're looking eye to eye with the top of Levesque.
Yeah.
I mean, looking actually down on it. I mean, the Huntington Building, all those buildings down there, you can look down on them. The one set, I'm trying to think what building it was that blocked the shoe. You could see like the side of it, but I'm trying to think which one it would have been. But you can see the new Hilton and everything. But yeah, 40 stories up. It was tremendous. Good time. So did that, came back, got a little lift in, and hopped on the show with Hester. And did that, and then hopped right into some coaching of the football, which was beautiful last night. Like I said, limited sweating. I mean, it was really nice. Kids were looking good, feeling good. And then, got some stuff done around the house, which we'll talk about throughout the show. Feel like a nice day of accomplishment.
Good.
And trying to check some boxes off and get this thing rolling.
Good, man. We got an awesome show lined up for you here this morning. We've got a kick time for Oregon. We'll do that coming up here in our next segment. We'll also hear from Buckeye Block O recipient and captain Cody Simon coming up in our next segment. Patrick Laine off the books. We're going to check in with Mark Scheig of the Hockey Writers. He'll react to the trade from yesterday with us, or a couple of days ago now. So Mark Scheig of the Hockey Writers, he's going to join the program at 6:35. Dustin Schutte of SI, he's going to join the program. We'll take the pulse of the Big Ten with him around 7:35. Then the Murph Dog, Patrick Murphy of Bucknuts, he joins the program coming up here at 8:35. Before we get into anything else today, it is Wednesday, August 21st, 2024. Time for Today in History.
Time to get smarter Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, Roberto, what you got lined up for us this morning, buddy?
Oh, we got ourselves a big day, Beamer.
Make it sound big, will you?
It's going to sound as big as possible. It is Wednesday, August 21st, the 234th day of the year, 132 days remaining, Beam. As of tomorrow, will be a month out from cracking that triple digits back down into doubles. And it's, whenever you start stacking them, man, it gets
dicey.
It's dicey. This day, 1878, the American Bar Association is founded in Saratoga, New York, barring attorneys in the United States. This day, 1883, an F5 tornado strikes Rochester, Minnesota. That being leading to the founding of the Mayo Clinic up there.
Okay.
Yeah, so something good coming through the struggles. 1888, the first successful adding machine in the U.S. is invented by William Stewart Burroughs. So how about that?
Joe's great-grandpa.
Yeah, maybe. But it's spelled a little differently. Burroughs.
Got it.
He spells his name Burrows or Bureaux. I'm not sure. I saw it on his jersey both times.
Whatever it is, add the S at the end. Joe Burrows.
Absolutely. There's got to be multiple of them.
Yes.
This date, 1931, big date in baseball. Babe Ruth hitting his 600th home run, Beam. And then this date, 1 year later, 1932, Wes Ferrell is the first to win 20 consecutive games in each of his first four seasons. So how about that?
Nice.
Wes Ferrell, Hall of Famer, Shark?
I don't know.
What do you mean? I thought you knew everybody in the Hall.
No, I don't know everybody in the Hall.
Hall of Famer, Beam?
A lot of players that played before 1900.
He is not a Hall of Famer, Bob.
Oh. Racking and stacking 80 wins in the first four seasons. I thought that would probably get him.
Finished 193 and 128 with a 4.04 ERA.
Yeah, faded at the end.
15 shy of 1,000 strikeouts.
This day, 1959, Dwight Eisenhower signs by executive order to proclaim Hawaii the 50th state. 1976, Elvis passes 400 million record sales worldwide. Shark, how about that?
That's a lot.
1987, how about this? You've had the time of your life, Shark. The debut of Crazy Like Swayze, Dirty Dancing.
They found the shoe markers. They fingerprinted the water glasses and found out they were wanted in Arizona and Florida, and they made a fortune here this summer.
So then it's all right. I knew it would work out. I knew they'd have to apologize.
I'm out, baby.
They fired you anyway because of me.
And if I leave quietly, I'll get my summer bonus.
So I did it for nothing. I hurt my family. You lost your job anyway. I did it for nothing.
No, not for nothing, baby. Nobody has ever done anything like that for me before.
You were right, Johnny. You can't win no matter what you do.
A great one right there, Shark. And you know what? Someone give an alternate perspective on that. It's like, so late 30s, early 40s dance instructors trying to pick up your 18-year-old daughter. I mean, I feel like Baby's dad might have been in the right from trying to keep her from him.
It's like the dad in Crazy Stupid Love, the dad of the babysitter. Go after him.
Bob, weren't you ever a teenager and you got to experience love for the first time? It was a great movie.
It was a great movie.
She blossomed out of childhood in that movie.
That's great. Sure, Dad. Like Detective Lenny Briscoe wasn't very happy, which that'll always be his name to me. Unfortunately, he passed as well. 1991, Pearl Jam releases its debut album, 10, Shark.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to hear some of that, unfortunately.
God, what a great album.
Oh, it's tremendous. And then this date, 2000, Tiger Woods, y'all, wins the PGA Championship in its original home back in August. He was the first since Hogan in 1953 to win three majors in a row. Following that up with the major he wins at Augusta in 2001, thus being birthed the Tiger Slam, Shark.
on paper, you had the biggest mismatch you could ever conceive.
This was more than a David and Goliath moment. It was, a sledgehammer and a flea.
No one thought that Sunday was going to bring any drama at all.
First hole of the playoff, Tiger Woods, first birdie. As soon as he hit it, he started glaring at it, and all of a sudden he started going. I thought he was going to go like that, and he started running.
I don't believe it. How about that one? Let's see that.
He's finally got the lead.
No one made a mistake. It was quality play, making birdie after birdie, shot after shot.
He has taken the torch, and he's running with it. Major championship number 5. The first since Hogan in 1953 to win 3 professional majors in 1 year.
It's pretty darn impressive right there.
It was an all-time round of golf, too. Him and Bob May just going at it.
Love that. Gosh, it's hard to believe that was 24 years ago today. Yeah. Some birthdays. Jack Buck, father of Joe, born in this state 100 years ago.
Here it comes to McGuire. Swing! Look at there! Look at there! Look at there! McGuire's number 61, headed for Planet Maris. Home run McGuire, 61. History. Bedlam, what a moment. Shaking hands with the third baseman of the Cubs. Pardon me while I stand up and applaud. What a Cardinal moment this is. What a baseball moment this is.
His dad was the play-by-play for the Cardinals for all those years, correct, Shark?
His dad.
Oh, that's, Joe's dad.
That is the dad.
Jack.
Yeah, he did the Cardinals games with Harry Carey for a long time, and then Carey moved to Chicago, and Jack Buck was there for, forever. But he went to the Ohio State University and worked right here at
WBNS.
I don't know if it was 97.1.
That was WBNS.
Certainly 1460.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. I had no idea that he
I didn't either
went to
until
Ohio
Shark
State.
said that yesterday.
Wilt Chamberlain, Mr. 20,000, is it?
I think it is. We don't want to short him.
Yeah, I thought it was 10 before, but 20, that's way more impressive. Born in this state in 1936. Kenny Rogers, I'm too drunk to taste this chicken, Kenny Rogers. It's born on this date in 1938, lost him 4 years back. Archie Griffin, Mr. Two-Time, turning 70 years old today.
My fondest memory playing Ohio Stadium would happen to be September 30th, 1972, the North Carolina game. I was a freshman, and that was the first year that freshmen were eligible to play varsity football. We were down 7-0. I had no idea that I was going to get into the football game. Got into the game and rushed for 239 yards, which at that time was an Ohio State rushing record. It was the most exciting moment I've had in all of football. And I played in 4 Rose Bowls, 4 Michigan games, and even a Super Bowl. But that was the most exciting moment because I had no idea that I'd get in that game. It's totally a surprise for me, and I count it as a miracle.
That's great.
Counted as a miracle. The beginning of Mr. Two-Time. Happy 70th birthday, Archie Griffin.
Legend.
Khalees, your favorite beam, turning 45.
Milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Absolutely. Good job on that out of you. Usain Bolt, turning 38, the 8-time Olympic gold medalist. Did the triple, the 100, 200, 4x1 twice. The one time in the 4x1 they got disqualified. That kept him from getting 9 golds. And then Mike Evans turning 31, the Super Bowl champ, 5-time Pro Bowler. 10 seasons, Beam, of 1,000 yards.
Underrated. It's just supremely underrated.
Absolutely. Incredibly talented.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, Shark was sad today. On this day, 1940, Leon Trotsky was assassinated in Mexico City.
The ice pick, right?
Got the ice pick to the back of the head.
Yep.
That's the way to do it. Some holidays, observances. It's Brazilian Blowout Day.
Ooh.
It is Internet Self-Care Day, National Medical Diometrist Day, National Poets Day, Senior Citizens Day, and World Goat Day. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings. Your holidays, observances for this date, August 21st, the 234th day of the year, a mere 132 days remaining in this 2022.
Good job on that, Bob, as always. Buckeyes and Ducks. Well, they reportedly have a kick time. We'll get into that coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, no crashes to tell you about across your central Ohio roadways. We are watching things pick up on I-71 as you come into downtown and on 23 on the north side. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Erectile dysfunction is a destroyer of your confidence, of your joy and intimacy, and often it can even harm your relationship. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, the leading men's sexual health practice in our area for treating erectile dysfunction. And I want you to know today that if you're like most men, you can be free of ED and all the impacts it has on your life. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're your local provider for dealing with men's sexual health issues. Our expert medical teams are focused on treating ED, and we have highly effective treatment plans with some protocols that work in well over 90% of cases. We can even combine treatments for greater efficacy, all of which means it's very likely you'll be having great sex again within just a day or two of your first appointment. You might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations, just off 270 in Hilliard and near the Medical Mile in Westerville.
That's the sound of sweat falling drip by miserable drip. But don't sweat that broken AC. The Waterworks Heating and Cooling Team has same-day service. Call the Waterworks at 614-333-9720 or schedule service on our website.
We go to war for you. Every day people get into an accident. Every day people's lives change. Every day the insurance giants give you crumbs and call it dinner. I'm attorney Robert Scherger. Let us go to war for you. warforyou.com.
Driving plays a big part in driving the local economy. It helps us all get where we're going and creates good jobs close to home. At Synovus Energy, our refineries in Toledo and Lima are a reliable domestic source of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. Plus, more than 2,300 employees and contractors work for us here in Ohio. See how we're helping local communities move forward at Synovus.com.
Here at The Fan, we give you 14 hours of live and local programming every day. We care about you. We live and work in your community. Except Bo Bishop. He won't tell us where the hell he is. Your live and local station. Except Bo. The Fan.
With Tire Discounter's new TD Chat BS, we can detect deception over the phone. Let's call a typical tire store.
Yellow, cheapo tire where we bolt them on for less.
Yes, I need tires and lubricant for my vehicle.
Great, come on in, we'll slap on some new tires.
And what about the lubricant exchange?
Oh yeah, we send you over to Ollie's Oil for that. They're right down the road.
Deception. Destination is 5.2 miles away.
Well, I'll be.
Also, 6 out of 10 cars need alignment.
Well, just travel on over to Alignments or Us.
Calculating time for 2 additional trips.
You mean you want to do tires, oil change, and alignment all in one fell swoop?
Oh, I observe that Tire Discounters, the home of free alignment, is close by.
Ugh, Tire Discounters.
And they are experts at oil changes, brakes, shocks, and...
I'm losing you. I'm losing...
Hello? I'm sorry. Your system has crashed.
Don't miss our Savor the Summer sale, now till Labor Day.
Ohio's public schools are safe, welcoming learning environments where everyone can thrive, no exceptions. Thanks to the nearly 120,000 public school educators in the Ohio Education Association. We are dedicated professionals who deserve respect, a living wage, and a seat at the table when decisions are made. And we're using our united voice to demand the supports and resources our students need to succeed. Because in Ohio, public education matters.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Skies are clear and sunny today. A little cool this morning, down in the 40s and 50s. We'll warm up to the 60s by midday with highs in the 70s. Columbus topping out at 77. I'm meteorologist Madison Reich with your weather impact forecast on The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The hardest part of your workday is over. you've managed to get out of your fart sack.
Attention campers, lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
This is Morning Juice.
Well, we know what Friday nights mean. We're just a couple of days away from that, and it means high school football here in the great state of Ohio. The fan game of the week kicks off this Friday. That's right. High school football is here. 7 o'clock, you got Harvest Prep at Pickerington Central. And after the game, it's the Byers Dublin Subaru Overtime with Ryan Baker and Coach Lee Cochran. High school football are back right here on the fan. Feels like football outside, Bob.
Smells like football.
Yeah, it really does. Tastes like football. What does football smell like?
It smells like damp grass, leaves.
Yeah. A little bit of body odor mixed in.
The smell of fall.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the locker room smell, which, I mean, after games, it would take me like 2 days to feel like I got actually clean again.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're dealing with right now, Beam, is the smell of autumn in the air, and that is great. The crisp, moist air in the morning, like that's pretty nice.
Did it take you longer?
It's diff, Beam.
Did it take you longer after games or practices to rinse the stench off of you, or did it take longer to get all those rubber pellets out of your shoes and or socks?
Well, we didn't. Ohio State, we weren't on turf then. And then Dallas was. Getting the pellets out wasn't bad because you wouldn't wear your game shoes out. You take everything off. I mean, now you may have those pellets and cracks and crevices everywhere, but that's something a shower wouldn't wash off. The bigger issue is like just the undeniable, unmistakable smell of a football game.
Yeah.
And it's like you can wash and do everything you need to do. Plus, the post-game shower usually hurts because you have a lot of abrasions on you.
Some burns.
Some
bruises.
It stings, some cuts. Like it doesn't feel good. And so it's like you try to make it as thorough as possible, but it is painful as well. So, yeah, there's a lot that rolls into that, but that's like your hands, like you're just eating. You're like, oh, my gosh, you can wash these again.
I remember those gloves would just be so nasty, too. Like your hands would smell like
practice
sour.
Gloves. We didn't used to get now they're much more generous with it. I said, you used to joke back in the day, you know, AJ and I, we'd go try to take them and get new ones. They were so, like, unless you had holes in them, you didn't get new gloves.
Yeah.
And your hands would smell like vinegar.
Yeah.
Like Courtney,
yes.
Courtney would not.
The way that you are talking about it, I can smell it right now.
Yeah.
I can smell it right now.
But if you wore them in practice, like your hands would smell like vinegar. It was gross. Absolutely disgusting. Like, so you're eating and you're bringing food to your mouth in this vessel.
Like malt vinegar, kids.
Oh,
what even malt vinegar?
Oh, it was awful. It was so bad. That is the smell of football to me, and I'm glad. Once I got to the NFL, they give you gloves. You get new gloves. You can rotate them, so it's not as bad. But here, it was atrocious.
That, and then the acclimation period, Bob. And I just remember, too, growing up, because I played starting at a young age, like first grade all the way on. And football tastes like, to me, like the plastic mouthpiece when you dip it in the boiling water and then you set your teeth marks into it. That's what football tastes like to me.
No one even
tastes like that hard.
No one even does that anymore.
No,
like that's
Why?
Like they all have like the custom fit.
Oh, come
and everything.
on.
Yeah, I mean no one does any of the. Very rarely. Some people still do if you're in a pinch, but the old dipping of the mouth guards.
That was
everything.
great. I loved that.
One thing is too, at Ohio
such an
State,
interesting feeling.
So they had a hydroculator that would keep these pads hot, like the heating pads.
Yeah.
And they would, if you needed one quickly at practice, you would dip one in there. Which that water
that
was
doesn't seem.
They're like, it's boiling. I'm like, it is, but it's also yellow. So
where's the yellow coming from?
I'm not sure.
Human stench.
The sweat from the person into the pad.
Maybe some other fluids.
Boiling sweat, but it's boiling. So is it clean? I'm not sure. Unknown.
At what degree does sweat boil compared to water? Do we know that? And we know what the boiling. I think the water boiling point. What is it? 212.
Yeah, 212.
212 for water.
Yeah.
Sweat's got a little bit of salt in it, so maybe that's a little bit higher of a boiling point.
I would imagine.
Yeah, would think so.
No, it's not good.
Oh, that was great. I mean, I too remember in first grade all the way basically through like grade school. I mean, you know, when you're a young kid, your form isn't great, Bob. I used to block with my forearms out like this instead of, you know, getting the hands up and under as you're taught as an offensive lineman to do so. So I'd block with my forearms out and I would just have bruises all over my forearms, right? And as a kid too, and I just remember one of my teachers, I went to a Catholic school, went to Incarnation, first through fifth grade, then went to Centerville Public. after that in middle school. And I just remember just my teachers being like, is everything, you okay? You good at home?
Everything at home, yeah.
I'm like, no, just playing football with my friends. It's all right. I'm doing just fine. Just fine.
Elk pride never dies,
Elk
man.
pride never dies. EPND. Never forget that. So we did get some news yesterday about the Ohio State and Oregon game. During appearance on Colin Cowherd's show yesterday, Fox Sports analyst Joel Klatt revealed reportedly that Ohio State's matchup on October 12th in Eugene, Oregon against the Ducks will be televised by NBC, also putting the game in NBC's 7:30 p.m. time slot.
So what I was curious is how they're going to handle those West Coast games, because Fox obviously has first rights on these games. And the way that it works is they get so many choices, and you can only take so many teams multiple times. So Ohio State always was first. Ohio State, Michigan game's number one. And then usually Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan were always the other 2 and 3. And then it depends on what else is going on that week. But I was curious. I thought they might try to make this a 3:30. But obviously they're giving deference to NBC on this and putting it at night, which I love that. I wish it was here and they were doing that. The problem is when Oregon comes here, they'll make it big noon.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to suck, is you're going to play night
mid-afternoon there. It's going to turn into evening.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get the noon wraparound when the Ducks come here.
Yeah. And so that's how it's going to be. When you play the West Coast, big West Coast games on the road, they're obviously going to make them night. They've shown that now. But when you play them at home, you're going to get noon. And so I was trying to figure out. I figured Penn State would be noon. Michigan would be noon. I thought this would be a 3:30. I'm curious if they'll make Iowa noon, which I'm thinking that they might now, which that's kind of disappointing for me, but we'll see what happens.
So the interesting part about this, too, so it's going to be a 7:30 time slot for us. That's 4:30 kickoff time for them locally. So that's going to be a 7:30. That'll be the prime time. That weekend is a great weekend in college football, too. Penn State is at USC. I don't know what they do with that time slot,
That's got to be a 3:30. They're not going to make that at noon. Then.
That one's got to be a 3:30. But the problem with that is that you also have Red River that day. Red River at 3:30, which is going to be on either ABC or or ESPN.
Yeah, but that'll be a CBS game, and so they don't care.
No, it'll be an ESPN game because they're in the SEC now.
No, my point is the Penn State game will be
okay.
That'll be the CBS window.
So is Fox just going to punt on that weekend then?
Well, I don't know what they would put at noon.
Yeah,
that's their window. That's their time slot.
Right.
So that's the problem when you start incorporating.
They got Washington and Iowa. That'll probably.
Is that at Iowa?
It is at Iowa.
And they'll put that in there.
Yeah,
I would have to imagine.
Yeah, for sure. So interesting stuff. Buckeyes and Ducks reportedly set for 7:30. That's not like official from the
Joel
TV network.
Released that.
Yeah,
that means Fox doesn't have it.
Right.
I mean, he would know.
Absolutely, he would. So right there, Buckeyes in prime time locally. That's a 4:30 kick there at Autzen Stadium. That's where it should be, right? 2 and 3 primetime matchup.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it should be. Patrick Lina, he's off the books. Where do the Jackets go now? We're going to check in with Mark Scheig of the Hockey Writers to break it all down with us coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, no crashes to tell you about across your major interstates. Watching busy traffic on I-71 near downtown. Also on 315 near campus. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Check out the all-new John Hinderer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram facility in Heath and experience the difference. We're your exclusive AgPack dealer, offering up to $30,000 in savings and benefits. And if you're tired of waiting at the dealership for service, take advantage of our service made simple with Carvenience or mobile service. Home with a lifetime powertrain guarantee and one of the largest selections in Central Ohio. John Hinderer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Route 79 in Heath, or HindererCDJR.com. We love what moves you.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
When there's a United Dairy Farmers nearby, special savings are too. Stop by while energy drinks are buy two, get one free. Monster, Celsius, Red Bull, and more for less. Only with UDrive Plus at UDF.
Hey guys, Chaps here with a new opportunity for you, the 20-pound summer slim down with Awaken 180 weight loss. Dropping 20 pounds before summer ends, cruising to your goal of 30, 40, 50 plus pounds down. It's simple. You take the last few weeks of summer, eating, drinking, enjoying the weather. But the difference? You're doing it with the 20-pound summer slim down. But Chopper, summer's almost over. That's the point, guys. The pounds melt off fast with Awaken 180. I dropped my first 20 in less time, and that easy 20 propelled me to reach my goal of losing 60 pounds. Then that propelled me to lose another 35. Think about it. You're about to slide back into the same old fall routine with the same old mindset. Mix it up. Live up the rest of your summer while dropping your first 20, then jump into fall with a whole new groove. Yeah, I said groove. You'll be saying it too just a few weeks from now. 20 pounds summer slim down with the solution for weight loss online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Did you know we have another station? More Buckeyes, more play-by-play, more everything.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2. Or listen on the Fan app.
Your home for almost too much football. The Fan.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to columbusmensclinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. columbusmensclinic.com. Book your appointment now.
It would be the best story, not only in tennis, but maybe in sports.
We were just two young black girls playing in Compton. This is not normally how that story goes. I looked different. I played different. I was more emotional. I was better. I was stronger. I had muscles. I was something that no one had ever seen before, ever.
Stream the ESPN Plus original series, In the Arena, Serena Williams, presented by Morgan Stanley, now on ESPN Plus.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
One of these guys thinks Clintonville was named after Bill Clinton. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Here's along here, little Wednesday edition of the program. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Hey, listen to this. If you always wanted a Fan t-shirt and you didn't know what to do, well, now you do. You've got your solution. It's the new and improved Fan Store for like the 5th time. You can go to 971thefan.com, click on the Fan Store grand opening graphic, and boom, you're in. Fan Store grand opening happening right now over at 971thefan.com. As we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline, check with our great friend of the Hockey Writers, Mark Scheig. Mark, thanks so much, buddy. Always appreciate the time here, especially early in the morning. I thought the offseason was going to be pretty quiet for the Jackets. GM search done, got that done. Head coaching search done, got that. Had some restricted free agent negotiations, and then all of a sudden, Patrick Laine trade doesn't look like it's going to happen. 24 hours later, he's gone. He is a Montreal Canadian.
Yeah, and I even said that yesterday. August is supposed to be, quote, the off season for hockey, when everyone's out on the golf course or out on the lake or doing their thing, but not with these Columbus Blue Jackets. You know, when we talked to Don Waddell last week, he said he's only had one actual day out of the office since named general manager and president of the team. And you said it, just so many different things. When you have a trade request, when you have decisions you have to make, they still have one contract that they have to finish. Just so much going on around the Blue Jackets that, just one thing after another, and suddenly we're going to be a training camp.
What was the trade market like for Patrick Laine, Mark? Because it didn't sound like it was very robust. Bobby, no, it wasn't, because there's just, first, the contract, you're talking about 2 more years at $8.7 million, where it was Don Waddell's preference to get rid of the whole contract
And so it was only one team, Montreal, that had the cap room and was willing and was able to step up in order to be able to make that trade. I think there were maybe 2 or 3 other teams that were exploring the possibility that would have required the Blue Jackets to hold up to 50%, and Waddell was just not interested in that. Because there was one team that stepped up, he was able to work with Montreal. They get a player in Jordan Harris who's going to help them. I mean, he can play in the 3 to 6 role. Spent a couple years with the Montreal Canadiens, and yeah, it's an underwhelming return. But we have to remember that getting all $8.7 million off this year and next year could potentially open the door for more moves either before the season begins or even more importantly next summer when there's a lot of potential big free agents that could be available and the Jackets would have the cash to spend.
And so that was what was interesting to me, Mark, as we looked at that. They talk about getting rid of the whole salary, and that's maybe why you had to package a second-round pick also to go with them. So you're telling me that you think that there will be the ability to spend some of that nearly $9 million this season, whether it's that acquisition or re-signing? Because I looked at that as so late in free agency, I just felt like that was dollars that, if you have to eat this year, it was already accounted for anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Laine didn't want to play with the Columbus Blue Jackets. He made that very clear. He had Dean Evison, the new coach, and he had a cordial talk. And Laine just said, I need a fresh start. So to be able to get that salary off the books for a player that's never going to play for you again anyway was something that was very favorable. So it does allow them the opportunity to do that, because when training camp comes around, sometimes you have roster decisions that teams have to make. Maybe there's some salary cap implications. It doesn't mean that the Blue Jackets have to take advantage of that, but if an opportunity does come up, they'd at least be in a position to strike. So they have the flexibility to kind of pick and choose which battles they want.
He is Mark Scheig of the Hockey Writers with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Just going back, Mark, the impetus for Patrik Laine not wanting to play here, just in your thoughts, what was that?
And he hasn't really come out directly and said exactly what led into it, but if you kind of put the puzzle pieces together, think back to last season, one of the embarrassing moments in his eyes was the moment that he was healthy scratched in Philadelphia. And that was a big moment for him. And then apparently some things went on in the locker room. I obviously don't have a handle on all the private things that went on, but it was clear that he didn't want to be there, that the environment of the Blue Jackets locker room was bad enough for him that he could not stand being on the team anymore. And that's why he asked for a trade, even though there was new management in there. He went into the program after getting injured, got the help that he needed, and in his mind, he needed a fresh start, and quite frankly, the Blue Jackets needed a fresh start as well. So at least both sides get a clean break from it, both can move on, but there's just a whole variety of things that just piled up over the course of time, which, Patrik Laine actually did tell the Montreal media he really did not enjoy playing hockey for a while, and that seemed like that was part of the reason why he went into the program. So, just a clean break for both sides and a fresh start.
Oh, it's always interesting. You guarantee contracts. Let me ask you this, Mark. If he decided not to play and the Jackets held him, I mean, would they be responsible for his salary? Should he be withholding his services?
So there's a little bit of a process that works if it gets to that point. They could ultimately suspend a player if he decides not to show up to training camp. But you're right. There's the whole concept of a guaranteed contract. So the potential of it being grieved could happen, but the team would look at it as they would try to suspend the player for a material breach, and then it could just lead to other things. So Don Waddell, you guys talked about earlier how there wasn't really much in the way of possibilities, and it kind of came up in the last 24, 48, 72 hours. There was an urgency to get this done. The Blue Jackets didn't want to go there. And then Patrik Laine reporting to training camp, having that distraction there, and then the potential fallout that could happen, which could have led to the things that we're talking about here. It was just best to get this done now so that there was no distraction with training camp beginning. So
you're saying, and I kind of have the same thoughts, Mark, that the Jackets just, they had to get him off the books, and they wanted entirely just to dump his salary, correct?
At this point, it was just really the only thing that they could do is just to have a clean break. Is just the way the last couple seasons that went. We all know all the drama that has happened. So with new leadership and a fresh start, I think it was in everybody's best interest to just get out of it and just move on at this point.
Was there any talks around the league of potentially a different suitor other than Montreal that maybe would have taken, 30 to 60, 70% of his contract on and maybe gotten more in return than having to give away the pick and then Harris in return from the Canadiens?
Yeah, there were some rumors out there. I personally believe that Carolina was involved. There's the whole Martin Nietzsche situation. I know that he ended up signing a contract with the Hurricanes. I do believe that, with Waddell being former Hurricane, that him and Eric Tulsky would have had a conversation about him. But I think Carolina would have required some retention, so it just never got to a point. Waddell was on the record from the beginning saying that it was his preference just to get rid of the entire contract so it can be a fresh break and have the financial flexibility, and he was able to accomplish that.
So Jordan Harris, like you said, coming in, 3 to 6 guys on the blue line back there, hopefully be able to grow into that role a little bit more. Defense is what they needed, obviously lacking a lot last year. Where do you kind of see the Jackets heading into this season with what they have at this point, Mark?
It's a great question because a lot of positions are being run back from the season that they gave up 300 goals. You have Merzlikins and Tarasov. A little bit of a different look on defense. Same kind of the top four: Werenski, Provorov, Severson, Gudbranson. Matejchuk could be up. Juracek could be up. Jack Johnson is back. Now you have Jordan Harris. So there is some flexibility there in which they can explore. But it's going to be on Dean Evison, honestly. Being able to talk to him, it's going to be a little bit of a breath of fresh air for the Blue Jackets. He's going to bring in a different system that's going to be a more aggressive system. And coming from someone who's had success with the Minnesota Wild, I think they're being a touch underrated because I think Evison's system is going to have an impact on this team, but there are still significant questions because a lot of the same guys from last year are back. A lot of guys are going to have to improve if they're going to make something out of the season. Jordan Harris seems like a pretty easy guy to cheer for too, Mark, just kind of listening to him yesterday when he was announced as a Blue Jacket, doesn't he? Yeah, he's a great kid. Someone's really looking forward to the opportunity, and he's eager to prove that he's ready for more. And he just got caught up in a situation with Montreal where they had an abundance of guys on defense, and he was available, and just $1.4 million is a very low-risk kind of move and somebody that can grow into the role. But as you said, very easy to root for. I think Blue Jackets fans are really going to love him. Mark, before we get you out of here, what's the update on Silly's situation? It's close. We talked to Waddell last week. He called it within striking distance. My understanding is that the team and the agent and the player are just a little bit off on what they see for term and money, but it's real insignificant. I do expect that as long as we're able to get that ironed out, it really should be any day now for Cole Sillinger to get his contract signed. Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on here with us this morning. Have a great quote-unquote off period as we get closer and closer to September, and we'll check in again soon, all right? Sounds good. Have a great day, guys. You too. There he goes. Mark Scheig of the Hockey Writers with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. One college team has had pretty awful travel issues for their Week 0 game this weekend. We'll do that in Quick Hitters coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, no crashes to tell you about, but we are watching things pick up on 315 near campus, also on I-71 as you make your way into downtown. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here from my friends at Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, but they are also much more than that. They help men and women who are experiencing things like low energy, low libido, muscle loss, and weight gain. Turn it all around. You can feel amazing and live better just like I can. It can be delivered right to your door, which is tremendous. Semaglutide for weight loss and testosterone and hormone replacement therapy for so much more. I've been a customer for years and it works. Get started at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota, and this month 0% financing is back by popular demand on the 2024 Toyota Tundra for 48 months. But hurry in before they're gone. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com for details, and when you think Toyota, Think Tansky with approved credit, tax title, and $250 doc fee not included. Offer ends August 30th.
Think Toyota. Think Tansky. Think Tansky.
Life. It's full of strange twists and unexpected surprises. But at AAA, it's always been our policy to look on the plus side. And our AAA Plus members tend to take the same view. Take Martin, for example. Last Monday, his morning coffee surprised him with an extra 10 degrees of Fahrenheit. Ouch! It was just the jolt of energy he needed to start the day. Later, when his shirt was targeted by the mustard on his burger, he became a proud trendsetter.
Martin, looking good.
And when he walked face first into a sparkling glass door, he was happy to provide some much-needed entertainment for his coworkers.
I'm okay.
And of course, when his car battery took early retirement, Martin felt no resentment. He knew there was a plus side. AAA's expert roadside assistance was only a call away.
Hello, AAA. Are you in a safe location?
While we can't all be like Martin, we can become a AAA Plus member and experience the peace of mind that comes with living on the plus side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply.
The Fan Tailgate is back at the Ozone on Lane.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers, Hollywood Casino, and TNT Equipment.
Admission is free. Join us for food, fun, and tipsy radio hosts. The Fan, Ohio's tailgating destination.
Common Man and T-Bone here. Visit Hollywood Casino Columbus this summer for exciting live sports action. We got the biggest screens around, and ESPN Bet is live in Ohio.
Plus, Penn Play Rewards members can win up to $500 Penn Cash every week. Visit PennPlaySports.com/cover5 today and register for your chance to play and win.
Not a member? Get the Penn Play app today.
Hollywood Casino Columbus is your live sports headquarters.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Big Bob's Discount Furniture is coming to Columbus. And Big Bob's Discount Furniture wants you to win big this football season. It's easy. Just get online and go to 971thefan.com to register to win a $1,000 gift card to Big Bob's Discount Furniture. So you can watch your favorite football team sitting in your new Big Bob's recliner or couch this season. Wow. That's $1,000 from Big Bob's Discount Furniture. All you have to do is register to win on the fans contest page at 971thefan.com. Hurry, contest ends Thursday, August 28th. See complete contest details online at 971thefan.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Skies are clear and sunny today. Temperatures rising from the 40s and 50s this morning back to the 70s this afternoon. So you might need a jacket just to get you out the door, but we'll see a high of 77 later today. I'm meteorologist Madison Reich with your weather impact forecast on The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
If you make a wisecrack about Dayton pizza, Beamer will murder you dead.
Humor. I have it too.
This is Morning Juice.
We here on The Juice, brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sharky?
Yes.
40 minutes away from Coaster Bob time.
Oh, I'm going up the hill right now.
Yep.
You know, boys, Jim Harbaugh is like a kid at Christmas when the name Justin Herbert is even mentioned.
Have you seen this, Bob? Have you heard this?
I have not. Let's hear it. I'm excited.
On Monday, the Chargers posted a photo of Herbert at practice, and that was good news because he had missed more than 2.5 weeks with a foot injury. How did Harbaugh feel about getting his quarterback back?
Felt like the music should be playing. I thought I heard music.
Voices of Angels, maybe. Felt great. It felt great.
Voices of Angels. And Beam, it's a good thing Herbert is okay now because Max Duggan was cut on Monday, so the battle for backup quarterback is between Easton Stick and Luis Perez.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a great quarterback situation, does it? If Justin Herbert goes down at an Easton Stick and you said Victor Perez? Luis Perez? That's not great. I mean, that's one of the worst backup quarterback situations I feel like in the NFL. So no wonder Jim Harbaugh felt like a choir of holy angels was behind him when Justin Herbert returned.
He wants his guy back. I mean, he's got one of the best young quarterbacks in football. So of course he's going to wax poetic about him. He did the same thing about, with Alex Smith and what's his name? Who was his quarterback in San Fran before?
Colin Kaepernick.
I mean, he said the same. He's always going to be an optimistic, positive guy when he's talking about his players. Like, that's who he is.
Especially his quarterbacks, too. Like, I feel like he loves his quarterbacks, doesn't he?
Felt like the music should be playing. I thought I heard music. Voices of Angels, maybe.
It's amazing.
It felt great. It felt great.
He's got the greatest ruse ever. Like, just be super weird, and then people don't ask you serious questions.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm serious.
You're right.
That's it. If you just come off as crazy weird, people give up asking you questions because you can just give weirder and weirder answers, and no one knows what it means.
What do you make of them this year, the Chargers? I have no idea what to expect. I mean, they got rid of a couple of receivers in the offseason.
They can run the ball, they'll be fine.
They can run the football. Yeah, I don't know what to expect out of their defense either. I mean, didn't they bring it was the offensive coordinator that they brought over from Baltimore. What's his why am I blanking on his name? He came over there. I mean, so yeah, they're going to for sure run the ball, but I mean, their schedule is pretty easy out of Jump Street. Greg Roman. They brought in Greg Roman, Bob, as their OC. I mean, they get the Raiders out of the gates. That's a division game. It's not going to be the easiest task. That's at home. It doesn't really matter for them. Then they're on the road at the Panthers, at the Steelers, home against the Chiefs. That's tough. They're one of the teams this offseason where they made some interesting moves. Obviously, Harbaugh is the most interesting one. I just have no clue what to expect of them on the football field this year. None, zero, nada.
Maybe it's God's way of saying that college football shouldn't be played in August. Delaware State has a week 0 game this weekend at Hawaii. Apparently,
I want you to think of a map of the United States too.
Yes.
Delaware State is traveling to Hawaii.
Yes. There's not very many longer flights in this country than that. Maybe Maine.
I bet they're having a layover. I doubt they're doing directly from there.
They're going directly. But anyway, there are apparently no airports in Delaware that get you to Honolulu because the Hornets had to take buses to JFK Airport in New York for their long flight to Hawaii. But the team missed its cross-country flight due to an issue with the buses. Now, Bob, you were annoyed when you had some downtime at Penn State. Can you imagine having to take a 3.5-hour bus ride from Delaware to Queens and then take a 10.5-hour flight to Hawaii? Ugh.
And they missed the flight.
Did you see an update
That's
on this
what I would be upset about, is the fact that the incompetence of the DFO, the Director of Football Operations, and the scheduling and logistics, that you get there and they're taking a commercial flight there. They're not chartering that. And maybe they are flying there directly. It's a great point.
From New York, I'm
from
guessing
JFK,
they were, yeah.
JFK, you could probably get there directly. But they missed that. Like, Shark, I don't know how you rebook like 100 people, which is basically what it would be.
So they said now that an update after they missed their flights is that they're flying in waves. So
yeah, you can't get 100 people rebooked.
No, so they're rebooking people on flights from JFK just on commercial airlines with stops in different places across the country.
That was a commercial flight. It was just a direct.
Yeah.
They don't have, you can't get 100 people now on another commercial flight direct. That doesn't happen. Those don't exist. So now it's planes, trains, and automobiles. Find your way there.
Take a bus to L.A. and then take boats to Hawaii. We'll be there next Saturday, not this Saturday.
They are 34.5-point underdogs, I think, too, going into that game.
It stinks to the players because they're supposed to be there today. That was going to probably kind of be like a little mini bowl game vacation for them. Now they're going to get there like right before the game.
That stinks.
I'd love it if I was one of the guys that got there first. And hopefully there's no other players and coaches not practicing that day so you can go hang out and relax.
Seems like, oh, go ahead.
But it's just, that's what it is.
That line, too, so it was 34.5 yesterday. You want to take a stab at what it's jumped up to now?
Oh, like 45.
40 and a half. That line jumped 6 points with the travel issues. Yeah.
I feel like they'll be motivated now. Seems like NBC changes its Notre Dame play-by-play announcers every couple of years, and they're doing it again. We have been through Dick Enberg, and that was back in the 90s when NBC got the contract. We went through Charlie Jones and Tom Hammond and Don Criqui, Mike Tirico. The last 2 years, it was Jack Collinsworth. Yesterday...
Well, Jack was the lead...
for 2 years.
Notre Dame football, yeah.
Shows you how many of those home games I've watched. That's brutal.
Yesterday, NBC announced that Dan Hicks, their lead golf announcer, will take over for Collinsworth. Beamer Jason Garrett is going to remain the color analyst.
That's a big win for Notre Dame fans, right? I mean, we talked about Dan Hicks at the Olympics.
It's Jack with just a C.
Yeah, it's not J-A-C-K. It's just J-A-C.
Jake Diebler or John Diebler can't get his brother hired at Ohio State, but you can get Jack Collinsworth, J-A-C, as the lead play-by-play for Notre Dame football because of his dad.
I think
Give me a break.
Dan Hicks is one of the best play-by-play announcers in the game. He's great on NBC's golf coverage. He was obviously terrific in the swimming pool at the Olympics with Rowdy Gaines. Why don't you boot Jason Garrett out of there and just have Rowdy call football games too? If you could bring those two guys together in the booth,
I like
I'm
JG,
great.
but it's been average at best.
I mean, I'm telling you.
Did they do the Ohio State game last year?
I don't know. I don't know because I listened to Paul and Jim during the game, so I don't very much listen to the TV broadcast.
But I think they did.
I think because it was a Notre Dame home game, right?
It was a home game.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It was home. You're telling me it was Jack the Sack and
I don't know. I was at the game, Bob. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, Shark was drunk at the game after getting some Bloody Marys over in Bowling Green before.
I discovered that Catholics like to drink.
This is a news flash to you after 64 years of life, Shark. What do you think those fish fries on Friday night are all about? The U is perpetually back. Their NIL arsenal, however, is not. We'll get into that coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. No crashes to tell you about right now, but we are watching things pick up on 33 out in Plain City. Also on I-71 near Polaris. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Tire Discounters announces our latest breakthrough, TD Chat BS. This software allows us to detect untruths, deceptions, and even outright lies. Let's listen in as we call a local car dealer.
Hi, I drive your model of auto or truck. I need servicing.
Oh, that's great. You should always call the dealer for service to make sure your warranty stays intact.
Untruth.
Excuse me?
I can attend at Tire Discounters for all services, even for all manufacturers' scheduled maintenance. Warranty not affected.
But it's only us dealers who really know our own models.
Deception. Tire Discounters ASE technicians are certified experts for all makes and models.
Okay, maybe.
How many dollars do you charge me for? As few as Tire Discounters?
We are not that much more.
Outright lie. Ending call now. Bye. Adios. Aloha. Hasta la pasta.
Don't miss our Savor the Summer sale, now till Labor Day.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here from Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, announcing our August special. Get a new Bryant air conditioner and furnace, and we'll install a humidifier for free. Carpenter and Bryant will do whatever it takes at carpentercolumbus.com.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Georgesville and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Mark the Shark. About the only bright spot for the Reds last night came late in the game in Toronto. Trailing 10-1, catcher Luke Maley was called on to pitch 2 innings. He faced 6 batters and retired them all. But Cincinnati lost the Blue Jays 10-3. George Springer hit 2 of Toronto's 5 home runs. At Yankee Stadium, first place in the American League Central visited first place in the East, and they battled for 12 innings in the longest game in Major League Baseball this season. Tied 3-3 in the 12th, Lane Thomas delivered a tie-breaking double to spark a 6-run rally as the Guardians beat New York 9-5. Meanwhile, the Royals lost to the Angels 9-5, and the Twins were beaten at San Diego 7-5. So Cleveland's lead is now 3.5 games over both Kansas City and Minnesota. The Sports Center is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Get started today with your 20-pound summer slim down. The results are fast, easy, and start your very first week. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Bobby is known as the General. Beamer is known as Beamer. This is Morning Juice.
Hour number 2 of the program for us on a Wednesday. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Coming up here, 7:35 this morning. We're going to take a look around the conference, the Big Ten. Dustin Schutte of SI, he's going to join the program. Talk all things Big Ten football with him. 8:35, Patrick Murphy, the Murph Dog of Bucknuts. He's going to join the program as we are now 10 days away from the Buckeyes getting going here August 31st against the Akron Zips. So Dustin Schutte joins us here, 7:35, and then Patrick Murphy, 8:35. By the way, you can always listen to our podcast. You can watch the YouTube stream. Mark Scheig, the Hockey Writers, he joined us in the 6 o'clock hour, talking all things breaking down the Patrick Laine trade.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Josh on the YouTube chat said, good morning all from South Carolina. Definitely not fall weather here. 75 this morning. It was a brisk 55 out here today.
It was chilly. It was chilly, Beamer.
I was feeling really good outside. What's the fall look like down there in South Carolina? I feel like it never really
Looks
gets...
a lot like summer up here.
Yeah, that's no
Probably
good.
not until you get to October, November, then it's chilly. That's how Dallas was. September was like August here, and then end of September, you get to October, November, it starts to chill out, get a little cooler, a little grayer. Yeah, a little more rain. Not too bad.
So, baseball last night. Reds get hammered by the Blue Jays 10-3. 7 o'clock tonight, back north of the border. Frauds. Shout out Matt Andrews. Texted me yesterday, frauds.
When were they ever? Here's the thing I want to ask Matt. When did you ever think they were anything but that?
In the off season. Where else are you going to go?
I guess, but I don't know if anybody in the last month and a half conceivably thought the Reds were going to put together a second half run.
They had a decent little charge there for a little bit, and then over the weekend they got smoked. and then it was basically game over for them. I mean, there's still time left, but not much. Guards 9, Yankees 5. The longest baseball game of the season so far. Final in 12 innings. Shark, I mean, did you have
a doubleheader they played?
Did you have an aneurysm last night watching that game?
A lot of mini heart attacks throughout that game. The Guards...
Don't go dying on us now, Shark. You've got about 10 more months left. 11.
They were issued 14 walks in that game, which was their most in a game since 1979, 45 years ago. And they couldn't score any runs. They had 9 hits, 14 walks, and couldn't score.
At one point in last night's game, both teams were combined 2 for 29 with runners in scoring position. 2 for 29.
You know what they needed? They needed more Manford men out there.
They had the Manford man starting in the 10th and 11th inning, and neither team could score that guy.
After 2 innings, maybe Rob should think about adding a second base runner.
Yes. Put him on second and third.
Give him a third.
Yes.
Put him on third. You can fly him in. That's all you need to do.
You know, Bob, I bet you if you proposed that to him, he'd approve it.
It's all about game time, Shark.
Yes, it is. We don't want 12-inning games.
Get that sack fly in there, drive him home.
Gosh.
But it doesn't count as an earned run against the pitcher.
Right. Does that feel like a mini playoff game to you, Shark? I mean, it's a pretty big series.
I don't know, Beam. I mean, they were doing some odd things, like Clase never pitches 2 innings.
He did last night.
Yeah, you got to use that pen up, baby.
They used everybody
Keep
in
them
the
fresh
bullpen.
for the offseason.
And they don't have a starter for today, so it's going to be a bullpen game.
What's Cookie doing?
Cookie's on the injured list.
I think they could scrape him up.
His future is in the past, Bob. He's done. He'll never start another game for the Cleveland Guardians or probably ever in the major leagues again.
Would he be helpful out of the pen for you guys?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
That's good.
I bet he could probably give you,
third of an inning.
4 innings of 6-run baseball.
There you go. He did that a lot this year.
Chew up some innings for you.
Anyway,
J-Ram, let's go. Give me some support back here.
Give me some pop. What was he, 1 for 6 last night, Sharky J-Ram?
Yeah, but he did have a big RBI in the 12th. Yeah.
I saw this stat. I want to say there was 3 or 4 things that it was Judge and who's their other big hitter up there? Juan Soto.
They went back-to-back last night.
I forget, there was so many home runs, RBIs, 30 home runs, but 100 RBIs and 5 stolen bases. I think those guys both have that. Maybe it wasn't stolen bases. There was some stat that they were the first teammate. They were only the second set of teammates, I believe, to do that. I think the only other two to do it were Ruth and Gehrig. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
It was they did it 3 times.
Teammates in MLB history to both record at least 35 home runs, 100 walks, and 5 stolen bases.
I got it. Look at that.
Judge and Soto in 24.
But I was Ruth couldn't have stole 5 bases. I mean, whether they had passed balls,
Gehrig and Ruth did it in 27, 30, and 31.
Yeah, 3 times.
3 times. Woo!
It's when you say no one else has done it, but the other guys, they did it 3 times.
Yeah,
so.
and they were pretty good, too.
Yeah.
They win last night, 9-5. Longest game of the Major League Baseball season so far. Back at it tonight at 7
The longest thing was for me last night is, we redid our kitchen about a year and a half ago, and got this nice little faucet up there. My wife picked it. Get whatever we need to get.
We have one of the faucets that it's attached to the oven, too, on the backsplash.
Yeah, the pot filler.
Yeah.
We have
Wish
that.
I had that last week.
Yeah. Would that help you empty the water, though? No. They don't have a drain. It doesn't suck the water out. You need the Mike Wallace suck it bean, the bilge pump to just pump that thing out of there. But, yeah, we do have the pot filler. My kids always want to use them. Listen, dude, you're cooking a can of chicken noodles. You don't need the pot filler,
No, you don't.
Pot filler's for big things. Everything else, you can use your biceps and carry it over there. Let's get some gun work in. Nice isometric hold. Get the squeeze in. Stabilize the core, which is where beam failed on the walkover.
Yeah, it was actually my grip. My grip failed me.
Make sure the rugs are all laying down so you don't nip a rug. Jeez. Step on a dog that Theo's laying behind you when you don't know.
What a disaster.
The real crime was the loss of the noodles beam. Let's be honest.
It really was.
Your Michael Scott poached foot is fine.
Eric's still upset about it.
Doesn't let that go. Mm-hmm. Just thinking, gosh.
Bob, we made pasta the other night too.
Made it again?
Yeah, this was a
different. You know what? You got to get back at it.
We were doing just pasta red sauce, and I was getting ready. I said, "Noodles are done." She goes, "Do you need me to put them in the sink for you? Do you have a little dramatic experience from that?" And I said, "I think I got it." I took out 2 pot holders this time and made sure that I had that sucker.
That's
gripped.
good. It's like Tom Cruise after he lost Maverick, after he lost Goose. You got to keep sending him up.
True.
Meredith New, get him back on the horse.
Yep.
We got to have pasta again.
Get his confidence back up.
By the way, I saw your boy Billy eating his, what do you have, a little waffle with some syrup?
Yeah.
And he's got the 2 dip trays. And I'm looking at the other one, there's something in the other tray. I'm like, that looks like ranch. But I was like, no, it's got to be yogurt.
I think it's yogurt.
And you'd love this, Shark. My man Billy is eating at his little high chair. He's got a spoon in one hand, in the left, with the yogurt over there, fork in the other. And I messaged Mary, I'm like, really? We're 2-hander right here.
The best is when he's got a spoon in one hand and he's eating with his just one hand. He's shoveling all in
You can see he has the spoon in the one and yogurt all over his mouth. And then in the other, he's got the fork using that. It's a full Schlegel. That's all I was thinking about is Schlegs, where he would use one, to eat ice cream with one and then dip the waffle in the other, really get a full submersion. They didn't put the syrup on the waffle, Shark. It was a full, plunge tank to really get as much of that on there as you could.
Some of the new words that we're after is dip. So he, every time he does, he goes dip.
Yeah.
Puts it in there and eats it.
And then Scheig will say, dip, you got to hold it Hold it in
Drown
there.
it.
Drown that thing. Wait till it gets real soggy that it almost falls off the fork. That's when you throw it in your beak.
Like Gollum in Lord of the Rings. Drown you right in the river.
It's true. Anything for the ring.
Schmeagol and Deagle. It was Schmeagol's birthday. He wanted that ring.
Absolutely.
He did.
But we got this faucet, and it started coming loose. We're like, you can turn it and pivot. The bottom started pivoting. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be good. I don't want to start leaking. I don't want any of this stuff. And so I asked my brother, I'm like, how do I just use like a pipe wrench? I haven't been up under there. And
is this the line we're talking about, or like the actual?
No, it's the actual top. Like,
okay,
you can spin, has a rotating top, but the base started rotating too because it was coming loose. I'm like, does that like crank with a pipe wrench on there? He goes, no, you got to get a long Phillips screwdriver. I said, what do you mean? He goes, you got to get one that's at least a foot because you've got the top.
I looked up and under.
Oh, I looked underneath it. I mean, we've got an incinerator down there. We've got the water filter. We've got a garbage disposal. We've got the instant hot water. I'm looking at this after we take all the stuff out. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get under there. And yes, I do own a plumbing company. I'm like, this looks awful. So I got everything out of there, and I under there. I'm like, hey, get the faucet set where you want. I've got the little screwdriver. It's like super long. It's a foot long.
Yeah.
I don't order one on Amazon. I have one that long. So I got up in there. And like hand right by my face, I've got like a little flashlight that I'm like having in my mouth.
Meanwhile, I'm sure you're pinched.
There's an inch between the sink and the back of the cabinet. It was atrocious. And I'm like right beside the wall. I'm trying not to bust any of the lines, like roll over and knock anything off. I got it done though.
Nice.
And meanwhile, while I'm doing that, I didn't know my wife's. I'm like,
it'll take like 6 screws.
Well, there's only 2. There's one on each side. My brother's like, well,
I'm taking like 6 turns.
He goes, I didn't want to over tighten it because if you over tighten, you'll crack the counter. He goes, I didn't want to crack the counter. You guys get these nice countertops. Your wife, they're not cheap. So I said, I didn't want to over tighten it. So I appreciate that because I asked him. He's like, well, you don't have the screwdriver, so I had to order it and do it. And while I'm doing that, I can't see what's going on outside. I tell my wife, you get it in the spot you want it, I will tighten it down. And then she did that while I'm tightening it. She is like, I guess, fake elbow dropping me and my son. I'm like, hey, get it where you want it so I can jam this in there and tighten it. And I don't want it. Is it tight enough? Is it tight enough? My RJ, that's what she said, dropping that on me.
Nice.
And she's like, fake.
You are my child.
I guess fake elbow dropping. You're like, guys, I'm underneath the stinking sink. I'm down here. I got tubes and everything else wide flowing all over my face. Can you just do your part for me?
Do your job.
It's 8:15. You think I want to be doing this right now at 8:15 at night? I would much rather be having a drink, relaxing, and then going to bed. Instead, I had to get everything out, then that leads
Then you got to put it back in.
Well, that leads to the next question. Why is this under here? Why is that under here? These things shouldn't be under. You know why they're under there? Because it was convenient one time and it was on the counter and you thought, hey, we have space under there. Let's just jam it in here. Why does it go? Like that goes somewhere else. I've been looking for this for a while. And so pulling that stuff
There's
out.
There's space under there, Bob.
Yeah, there's not much space. I told you how much crap is under there. There's all this stuff for the sink, all the water receptacle vestibules that we have to dispense the water. And I'm under there on my back at 8:15 at night after doing 2 radio shows at my YouTube show with Schlegs, coaching college football. I just want to relax.
Get off your butt and you find that dog.
Went over to spoke at the like I said, I did the event at the Columbus down at the Rhodes Tower for the combined charitable campaign for Columbus City. Whole city does. They raised $2 million. There's over 1,000 charities they donate to. Hey, Court, would you like to go down there with me 11:15? Probably be in and out in about an hour. Why would I want to do that? I don't know. Support your husband. Why do you think on my list, like number 1 is like do all these other things for everyone else? But you know what? Pay it forward. Try to help somebody else. I go down there. One of my wife's classmates is there. And I was talking to her at her reunion a couple years ago, and she's like, hey, Bobby, how's it going? She's like, is Courtney here? I was like, oh, good to see you, Tiff. She's like, no, she didn't come. I'm like, well, that's the only reason I came down.
Well, she's busy putting stuff under the sink.
Exactly. I go, I thought she'd be here. That's the only reason I came down. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I asked her to come. She politely-ish declined. Like, sure. And I was like, it was great. I go, we're there for an hour. You can't get an hour at a time? Come
She's
down
going
there.
to Taco Tuesday by herself.
And that's why I was like, hey, can we bump lunch to this day, to today, because I've got this. Okay, sure, that's fine. Do you want to go to this? No, I don't. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you for the support.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for your service. New Buckeye Caleb Downs wasn't mincing words on how good he thinks the Ohio State defense can be. You're going to hear from him coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are watching crews clear up a crash on I-71 southbound right at 11th Avenue. Crews are in the right shoulder clearing that up right now. Also watching a disabled vehicle that has the right shoulder blocked on I-70 westbound right near Livingston Avenue. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Hey, it's Bobby. When it comes to tackling a project as important as your roof, you want a company that cares about the product and experience they're going to deliver. At Newman Roofing, you're more than just a number. They believe in 100% customer satisfaction. And for your roofing needs, give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF or newmanroofing.com.
Coming this Labor Day weekend, Bob's biggest challenge yet. It's time to dare to compare. It's got action. It's got suspense. It's got beeps and boops and dings and whomps and more savings than you'll believe on living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, mattresses, and more. And best of all, you get to play too this Labor Day weekend. Now open in Reynoldsburg and coming soon to Polaris. See how much you can save this Labor Day weekend when you dare to compare at a Bob's near you.
Hey, welcome to IKEA's complete sleep event. Don't miss dreamy offers on sleep essentials.
I've tried counting sheep, but keep losing track.
We've got you. IKEA family members save 15% off your purchase of $300 or more on select sleep comfort items. Plus, we're throwing a pajama party in-store on August 31st. Wear your favorite PJs for a free breakfast.
Ooh, we have matching PJs.
Don't wait. Go to IKEA-USA.com/bettersleep or visit your local store today. Offer valid August 7th through September 10th. U.S. only. See store and IKEA-USA.com for full details and eligible items. Restrictions apply.
At Kroger Pharmacy, CARE is making it easy to get vaccinated. CARE is helping you stay protected from flu, COVID, and RSV. Seasonal vaccines are available 7 days a week with evening hours. CARE is giving you a shot at staying healthy this season. Walk in whenever is best and get multiple vaccines in one visit at your local Kroger Pharmacy. So come and get the protection you need while protecting those around you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Visit Kroger.com/vaccines for more. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See site for details.
When there's a United Dairy Farmers nearby, fan favorites are too. Score a set of 6 Cincinnati Reds player cups for $19.99. Ellie, Green, India, Steer, Diaz, and McLean cups only at UDF while supplies last.
Rothman and Ice.
There's a lot of options that I think Ohio State can throw at teams this year, which is why this ceiling is so high for them. They're going to be able to do a few different things and do it at an elite level.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
Driving plays a big part in driving the local economy. It helps us all get where we're going and creates good jobs close to home. At Synovus Energy, our refineries in Toledo and Lima are a reliable domestic source of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. Plus, more than 2,300 employees and contractors work for us here in Ohio. See how we're helping local communities move forward at Synovus.com.
Driving this summer in a new Honda. Act now during Honda's summer event to save thousands with low 1.9% financing. Full inventory is here. Cars, SUVs, trucks, vans, and hybrids. With hybrids, the battery charges as you drive. Don't miss Honda's summer event with big savings on gas or hybrid, like the 2024 Honda Ridgeline, now with low 1.9% financing. Search your local Honda dealer. See dealer for financing details for well-qualified buyers. Offer ends 9/3/24.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-472,000, 614-472,000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-472,000, 614-472,000.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Skies are clear and sunny today. A little cool this morning, down in the 40s and 50s. We'll warm up to the 60s by midday with highs in the 70s. Columbus topping out at 77. I'm meteorologist Madison Reich with your weather impact forecast on The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Counting down the days until Shark's retirement. You are listening to Morning Juice.
Coming up here in our next segment, Dustin Schutte. He's going to join the program of SI, talk all things college football around the Big Ten. It's about 7:35 here coming up, like I said, in about 15 minutes' time. So Caleb Downs had some media availability as it's some Ohio State safeties. You had Cody Simon last night go as well. First time.
With the running backs or the safeties?
He was with the safeties, Bob, but he did talk about perhaps being used in the offense. Why don't we just start there with Caleb Downs?
I mean, I feel like I'm an elite player with the ball in my hands, so, I mean, I would never not believe in myself to do something, so I definitely believe that's on the table, but I'm just taking it day by day.
Okay, all right.
He's taking it day by day.
Taking it day by day.
What Caleb Downs does, gets first downs.
Yes, he does. Caleb Downs, first downs, all kinds of good stuff. I mean, what would be your level of shock if he carries the ball one time this year? I would set the season over-under at a half.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah?
I don't think I would be shocked if he got.
Okay.
Now, Peoples has played well. Like they're pretty happy with the young running backs.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't shock me, though. I would say if you're going to put it at a half, I would take the over.
Yeah, really? Okay.
I think they'll put something on film for that.
You know what? That's a good point. Going into Oregon.
I'm not saying now if you put it at like 24.5, I would probably take the under. 10, 9.5, I think is probably where you get the sweet spot.
All right. A few times we're going to put it on tape.
Got
let you spend 3 hours trying to figure out what's going on when Caleb comes on the field.
So if you had, that'd be like 2 games of maybe 4 or 5 carries, 3 games of 3, 4 carries. Like that sounds like that could be something that could be worked in.
What if he 3 carries, 88 yards, and 2 touchdowns?
Well, that's a pretty nice stat line.
Are we lining him up in the backfield, or are we going to use him as like a Weapon X, kind of like a Xavier Johnson role?
I don't know. Those are great questions. I'm not sure how he would be deployed. I would guess that they'd put him in the backfield. I mean, he's not the biggest dude in the world. Like Quinshon's more the hammer. He's probably a little bit more like Trey, where he's versatile, he's explosive. Yeah, he can get his pads down. He got good vision. Obviously, like you said, his athleticism gets you there. But I would think that you maybe give him the ball, carry a couple times, maybe give him the ball in space a little bit and let him go.
All right. So that'll be something to watch out for as the season gets underway in 10 days against Akron. We always wonder what it's like in the transfer portal, right? I mean, what's it like in there? Who else is in there? What's going on? Is it like a club? Here was Caleb Downs describing his time in said transfer portal.
It was like recruiting on steroids for me. But I wouldn't change a thing. I feel like if you know how to handle it and you rely on the things that are stable in your life, it can be handled pretty well. I relied on God and my family for it, so I don't really think it caused me to shake at all during this experience, but I feel like it was handled at a really high level.
Because every college football team in the country was after his services.
Yeah, him being in the portal is different than other people's because he got in there and every swing, slap Jake, as Scheig would say, was going after him. Like, they're all, hey, we want you, and by the way, here's what we could do for you for your services. And so it's like being a free agent in the NFL. I mean, there was no worry about him not having a landing spot. It was Ohio State, Georgia, like big-time elite schools.
Ultimately, why did he end up choosing here with the Buckeyes?
I knew a lot of those guys did recruitment, and I had like small relationships with them just because of talking to them, going on visits. So a lot of them were with me for my OVs, so I feel like I had a pretty good relationship with some of them coming in, and then just the knowledge that the team is going to be so strong and so collected together just because the guys had been around each other so long. So I feel like that's always a plus to know that you're walking into a real brotherhood and a real team.
Before he picked Alabama, Bob, I mean, it was down,
us and Bama.
Yeah, I mean, it was down to Ohio State and Alabama, right? It was his final decision. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, he knows these guys that are now sophomores on this team. Like he was saying, he's coming in for official visits. It's not like Ohio State wasn't in the running at all. And then they appeared in the transfer portal and they're like, oh, that's a good destination. I mean, he knew exactly what he was getting himself into. And I think if you go back and look, he kind of wanted to see what the Jim Knowles defense was going to look like before committing. And that's why he ended up choosing Bama.
Yeah. And, there was some issues and stuff. And, but then he obviously saw that. It was between us and Georgia then the second time. And obviously there's a big tie there between Georgia and Bama with Kirby and Nick and the overlap with some of the coaches. But the reality is, he chose Ohio State, and it's great for the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and this is the reality now with modern day recruiting. When you lose a kid, it used to be it was done and over with. Now it's, hey, if you think they're going to a place where they're not going to be happy or fully fulfilled, and every coach they won't like it there. But if there's a truth to that, you don't burn that bridge because there's a chance within 6 to 8 months
on the wraparound,
the wraparound, the reach around for Shark, you might be able to kind of jerk that guy back to where you are. Okay, so that's the reality.
That's what happened with him.
That is what happened with him. You were recruiting him. Yeah, you lost him. What are you going to badmouth him and say terrible things?
Can't do that.
Turn into Brian Flores, say some awful things to him.
Did you watch that yesterday? Did you watch his presser when he came out
and tried to defend his
honor and defend his name?
I did not.
Okay.
He's like, I heard this. Say, I sincerely wish him the best.
I wish him the best. I think he's a good player. That's how I was coached. Yada yada yada. Whatever. He's like, and then I'm just focused on the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want him to say.
It's tough because, he was around Belichick for so long, and Belichick coached Tom hard, but they already had a long-term relationship, and Tom was successful. People see things, and you think you can replicate that. You cannot replicate relationships. Mm-hmm. The relationship has to be authentic to the two people that are involved, and their personalities will always be different than someone else's, and their experiences that they bring in, the interactions that they have between each other, those are going to be wholly unique. So it's really tough to be I coach this guy this way, so I'm going to coach this guy that way. Same way. Can't do it.
People aren't built the same way.
They're not.
Each player's different.
And the situations aren't the same. There's so many things that swirl around it. And so, you've got to make sure you tailor your approach a little bit to the guys that you're talking to.
Caleb Downs last night, also when he had media availability, wasn't mincing words on how good he thinks this Ohio State defense can be.
We can be one of the most elite defenses to ever play in this game. So I feel like if we play at the level that we should, then everything will get handled and the plays will be made.
Most elite defenses that ever played the game.
D-ends. We can be the best in America.
Don't start that.
What, little R. Kelly for you?
Don't do that. Nobody needs to hear that.
Shark, I've got this unbelievable clip that was sent to me. There's about 4 weeks. So I've got a group text with Schleig's, Corey Lindsley, I think Boren's in there, John Simon that sends a bunch of nonsense. Josh Perry and I send a bunch back and forth, Ballard too. And I got something from Joshua that was an R. Kelly video from Africa and Ethiopia, him performing live on stage. And I thought it was AI. I asked him.
I did too. I heard it. I'm like, that's not real.
It was real though. Josh Perry confirmed that is factually accurate. It was very creepy, to say the least.
Well, he's a creep.
Well, he is. He's also incarcerated.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. One more from Caleb Downs here. How has his fit been here at Ohio State?
Gotten to know everybody. I've gotten relationships with everybody. I feel like I'm really part of the brotherhood now, just going through a spring with them, going through a summer, and then going through fall camp. So I just feel like it's more of a brotherhood, and I have better connections with everybody on the team and everything like that.
It's great. Kickoff 10 days away. I'm excited to see him play.
Well, he probably won't play a whole lot in that first game, unless he's maybe playing some RB beam. RB3.
What are you, a content monger? Here, Shark, fan poll. Actually,
what do you call it? Engagement farming?
Yeah, you're engagement farming. How many carries will Caleb Downs have this year? Over, under, what do you want to set the number at?
9.5.
All right, over, under 9.5.
We'll give some options.
Okay. No, I want not. Okay.
We'll go 0.
Sure.
1 to 5.
Yep.
6 to 10. 11 plus.
Okay.
Boom.
That works.
Fan poll done.
All right, there you go. Don't bother me about it for the rest of the day. Dustin Schutte of SI, he's going to join the program. We'll break down everything happening in the Big Ten before we get to week 1 of the season with him coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, watch for crews clearing up a disabled vehicle on I-70 westbound that has the right shoulder blocked right near Livingston Avenue. Also watching crews clear a crash on I-71 southbound right at 11th Avenue that has the right shoulder slightly blocked off. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steckerwald with your fan traffic.
With surgery and drugs being the main options to treat chronic joint pain, that left orthopedic surgeons like Dr. Ray Tessner thinking,
geez, wouldn't it be nice if we can have another form of treatment that eliminates some of the downside and has a bigger upside as we learn more about it?
And then he found it. Regenerative medicine, an exciting, fast-growing approach to dealing with pain using healing agents from your own body.
Well, it's using the miracle benefits of the human body to help encourage healing.
Today, you'll find Dr. Tessner at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving patients lasting relief from joint pain in their knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
It's one of the best management tools that has come around in a long time.
Finally, options other than surgery and steroids. All natural regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics. Learn more. Call today for your free consultation.
Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Back to school time. Your kids probably have fancy friends. Isn't it about time you gave them a ride to be proud of? Actually, hell with the kids. Treat yourself to a new Lexus. Right now, it's the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99% on ES, NX, and RX, as well as great lease payments. I've been a Jermaine customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. JermaineLexus.com.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
Your Saturdays are now full, and Sundays. And don't forget about Monday and Thursdays, too. You know the drill. It's football season. We are your home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and the NFL. If you change the channel, you're a loser. The Fan.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C, or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Cash, moolah, greenbacks, dough, Skrilla chips, bread and mo. 2, 5, 10, and 20, 30 big ones, games aplenty. Cheddar, butter, loot and scratch. Find the letters, make the match, cause there's many words for cash, no doubt, many ways to play cash word. Check them out. Cash word from Ohio Lottery. It's game time, yo. Cash word, it's fun to go with millions in prizes, don't you know?
Lottery players are subject to Ohio Law and Commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
You're listening to Rob Manfred's least favorite radio show. This is Morning Juice.
Well, you hear us talk about it a lot. That'd be FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, folks. Well, we got something a little bit different for you. Now through September 22nd. That is, what, just a little over a month away from right now. All FanDuel customers, not just new FanDuel customers, this goes to every customer out there. You can all bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. I've got it, Bob. You've got it. I dip my couch on Sundays. It's the best thing that's going on. With a YouTube TV base plan, you're going to be able to watch every single regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel at any time. You want to watch C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans every single weekend of the year? Boom, you got it.
But how else are you going to know if your parlays are coming through?
Of course. You want to watch Jim Harbaugh and the Choir of Holy Angels talk about Justin Herbert? You can do that.
All the futures, the touches for the run, the over-under run game for the Chargers, it's all there. You want to make sure you get that quad box up and be able to sit there and lock in and watch them all. You can pick your own 4-pack of games now this year, they said. It's going to be tremendous. So just visit FanDuel.com/juice to download America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 or older in present Ohio. For full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Right now we're heading out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Check with our good friend of SI. He is Dustin Schutte. Dustin, thanks so much for the time, buddy. Always appreciated, especially you. You're on Central Time, so it's a little bit earlier for you than it is for us. Rumor has it, Little Birdie tells me you may be making a visit here to Columbus at some time here in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, I made a trip out there over the summer. I stayed at a nice hotel just outside the city, I think out in Winchester, and I was impressed with it was just my second or third time in Columbus. But, yeah, Purdue's heading out there November 9th. I do a lot of coverage of the Boilermakers, so I might have to make a trip back out to Columbus on November 9th when the Boilers come to town.
Will this be your first time in Ohio Stadium then, Dustin?
Yes, I've been around the stadium a couple times, tried to break in like the Oregon Ducks, but was unsuccessful. So that would be my first time at Ohio State.
Really? That's going to be pretty tremendous. How excited are we on a scale from 1 to 10 to be in the shoe?
Oh, 10. It's up there. It's up there on my list. I want to hit up every Big Ten stadium. I know it's a little bit more complex now with all of the new additions, but that's right up there. I think Ohio State and then Penn State Beaver Stadium for a whiteout.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the two, the big ones. I was able to hit Wisconsin last year, and that was a lot of fun too. So those are the two that are pretty high profile for me right now.
When we have week zero games in the Big Ten, Dustin. So we're still 10 days away. 9 days away because I think Sparty plays next Friday night from the Big Ten season getting underway. At this point, with single digits or low double digit days left to go for the Big Ten season start, storyline number one for you from a conference perspective is what?
I think to me, it's probably how teams like Oregon and USC specifically adjust. And I don't want to throw all four of those teams in there because UCLA is obviously going through a transitional period, moving on from Chip Kelly. They lost a lot of their staff from last season. They lost a lot of talent from that season. And the same thing with Washington. Obviously, they lost 21 of their 22 starters. They're ushering in a new coaching staff there with Jed Fish. So I'm not really too much emphasis on those two teams. I don't think they're going to have great years by any stretch, but I am curious to see how teams like Oregon and USC adjust. And I think more specifically, it's going to be what does the offensive line look like for those teams? I mean, they've been able to dominate offensively out in the Pac-12, but those teams aren't built the same way in the Big Ten. They're not as deep or as talented in the trenches, I don't think personally. And then how do those two teams adjust on the defensive side? I mean, this is an Oregon team that, yes, they were very solid defensively, but in some of their bigger games last season, I mean, they gave up 34 and 36 points in their two losses to Washington, gave up 30 points in a win to Texas Tech, 27 to USC. And then obviously USC is going through some transition there with changing their defensive coordinator. D'Anton Lynn is who was the engineer behind the UCLA defense a season ago. So there are a lot of really interesting aspects, but I think how teams like Oregon and USC, how they transition from the West Coast to playing a Big Ten schedule, how are they going to adjust? Is Oregon still going to be at the top at the end of the season? Is USC going to figure some things out defensively? I'm really curious to see how those two teams transition to this new conference.
Is there a team, Dustin, that you're looking at in the Big Ten? I mean, everyone looks at Ohio State, Oregon, obviously the top, Michigan, Penn State, kind of in that next tier right there with Iowa. Is there a team that you think that maybe is being undersold a little bit right now that could potentially get into that Big Ten championship talk mix, or maybe just be in the top four and in playoff contention?